my great example. How many people have ever had an argument with a partner? So you're with your partner and you have an argument, and then one person, or you've seen someone do this, one person just goes, fuck it, I can't deal with this right now, I'm out of here. And they literally just go, I'm not going to deal with this, and they leave. Give me some yeses. Who hasn't? If you've ever seen this, or if you've ever experienced yourself, that's the same thing. Noradrenaline rising to the point where they just hit an auto-quit response. Now, how do we create growth? Number one is when we experience challenges. So as soon as there's effort, we produce dopamine. Dopamine is the subjective view of moving forward. It doesn't have to be positive. It can be negative, right? Stay with me here. It can be negative, but it's the idea of the motivation to move forward. I've got this. I can do this. I'm on the right path. Right? How good would it be to teach our children this from birth? I've got this. I can do this. Just one more step, one more question. Right? I got that question wrong in my exam. Just one more question. We're teaching them to produce dopamine. Now, what happens is, check this out. Let's say I'm playing basketball and I'm shooting, boom, and I keep missing. I'm practicing my free throws and I'm getting really, you think I'm like half an hour in, I just keep missing. What do you think I'm firing off most, noradrenaline or dopamine? I just keep missing. I'm like, I'm getting what? Frustrated? It's just Nora. And then I say to myself, one more shot. Now I'm producing dopamine. So now I could go for hours. Check this out. This is infinite energy. Just shoot one more. We got this. One more. So I'm just in this cycle here of this. Now what happens is there's a moment in time where I shoot that ball and that ball just goes straight through the hoop. Like it's like a swish. It's just one shot. And in that moment, what do? We hit a celebration button. There we go, Alice. We're like, boom, yes. When we celebrate, we actually produce another chemical. Now this is where the power of change happens. Watch this. So as we go, noradrenaline miss. You've got this. One more shot, dopamine, one more shot. So I've got that motive. We're in this cycle of growth and movement. And then all of a sudden, bang, it goes in. Boom, bam, we got it. We produce a chemical called acetylcholine. So just type ACE in the comments. Acetylcholine. ACE in the comments. When we produce ACE, our brain takes a snapshot. So acetylcholine, noradrenaline, dopamine, all at the same time. Our brain takes a snapshot of the last hour or two. And in that, it goes biologically what happened. Thoughts, behaviors, body movement, all of it. What happened and what do we need to remember? Then it takes it and puts it into the middle part of the brain. So when we sleep at night, guess what? It starts to store it into long-term memory. This is how people create consistent growth in life. Consistent growth with muscle memory with neuron memory, where our neurons start to fire and wire in a new way together to become automatic. That is the process. So think of this, right? I'm going to go on a tangent here, and then we're going to come back to that. So let's say, for example, somebody wants to build a coaching business. So we're going to talk about coaching today. They have to go through several phases, right? Quite simple. Make sense? Like coaching business isn't just become a level 1 coach and that's it, I'm set for the rest of my life. There's always more. There's more. So we learn. Now what happens, that's an E, what happens is as a person learns, most people who do a coaching business, they get stuck in that learn phase. How many people have been studying coaching or things like coaching, Reiki, maybe meditation for, over 5 years? Give me some yeses. Over 5 years. Me. Over 5 years. Now, are you type me if you're making the money you want to be making. So type me. Oh, I've got a couple of me's there. So I'm now getting out of here. What happens is most people get stuck here. So in a normal cycle, you learn a practitioner level, and then you'd go to a master level. So you'd spend $5,000 on a practitioner level. Then you do a master level, another, $5,000, $10,000, and then you go to maybe a speaker's level or something. Does this make sense? It's learning more skills and strategies. Now, what happens is most people don't get stuck and they get stuck here and they don't move into the apply phase. So the apply phase is where we start to practice what we learn. Here's what I give you, right? You get a full coaching intervention tomorrow. After you get that, go straight to the apply phase and start applying. That means a person shifts off that first level straight away. Now, what do you think person would stop a person from going from just continually learning, thinking they need to know more, to applying noradrenaline. Got this? So if a person just like, I'm not enough yet, I'm not on the right path, like I'm not sure if I know enough yet, what do? Let's go learn another course. Let's go attend another free event. Let's go, like, man, I know people who pay like $12,000 for a program to learn how to coach, and then at the end of it, they're like, fuck, what do I do? Excuse my French. You got my, like, it happens. Then after we go through the apply, we then move into the next level. So the next level is where we go, cool, how do we now kind of become an influencer? How do we attract clients? How do we go from, I'm working, I've got my skills, I'm confident in my skills, but how do I now start working with more people? This is where we kind of enter an influencer phase, where we can start to create influence. I'll if this makes sense in the comments. The cool thing is, you go back 10 years ago, this was quite hard. You'd be doing letterbox drops, like Facebook was just kind of firstly around. Like you would do a live training on Facebook, you'd get 15 people, you'd be like, bam, you're crushing it. When nowadays, you put out like a 15-second reel, and you could cop 20, 30 million views. You know, a million views like that within a day or two. Yeah. This makes sense. So we live in a different world now. So this is really good. How many people, just to check, how many people are already out there in that influencer phase? Like already out there on social media, putting out content, helping people. Give me some yeses. Zara. Nice. Not yet. Pratani. Sad. Me. Anna. Cool. This is a must now. So what happens here? And you think about what stops a person from putting themselves out online? What stops a person from putting a post out? What stops a person from maybe messaging someone who comments on their stuff? Noradrenaline. So we've got cycles here. This is how it's always growth. So what happens is once a person goes through then the influencer phase, they then can start earning money as a coach. Now, look, that influencer doesn't have to just be social media. You could just be influenced within your community. You could have a group of friends, and those group of friends supply your lifestyle. Does this make sense? Influence means you have an ability to sit there and ask somebody. You have the authority to be able to connect with someone for them to see you as an expert, as someone who can help them to move on their journey. Make sense? Give me some yeses if that makes sense. Then the earning phase is your ability to ask for money. So check this out. Let's go back to this dopamine. So mind you, take a snapshot of that. Learn, apply, influence, and then earn. They're your four main phases that you must go through as a coach. And we'll talk more about this as we go. So check this. Let's say, for example, somebody has, call this a comfort zone. Comfort zone. And this comfort zone is neurological, right? We spoke about this yesterday. How many people could do their job, metaphorically with their eyes shut? So you get to work, it's just autopilot, you just turn your computer on, you get in your car, you drive the same way, and you just do it. It's just natural. Sometimes you get to like 30 minutes in, you're like, whoa, what have I done for the last half an hour? Type some me's because we've got too many yeses. Type some me's. That is an example of what's inside a comfort zone. So as you wake up, you're going to work, you walk in, you go here, cool, got it sorted. Daily tasks, here. You see your partner in the morning, give him a kiss on the cheek. Nothing really pushes you outside of what's normal and comfortable. And then all of a sudden, we said this yesterday, a boss calls you into the office. So as soon as you hear the word, you see the email, that email pops in. Hey, let's throw some names out. Zara, Christina, Youssef, man, Josh, come to the boss's office. Karen, come to the boss's office. I want to speak to you for a minute. All of a sudden, where do we go here? How many people get, maybe, type in what you'd feel, just so I could put a word here. Type in what you'd feel. How would you feel? Would it be like a good thing? Would it be an anxious, nervous? There we go, anxious, cool. So it goes into an area where, let's just call this B for bad. So all of a sudden, that morning has gone from normal to, oh no. I got data. So I've been coaching a client. You ready for this? Coaching a client for 10 years now. He actually came to my first ever NLP training like 12 years ago. And he works with me. I work with him a couple times a year, and I've done it for years, right? And all he's ever doing is just looking for growth. When he first started working with me, he was earning $60,000 a year. Now, I'm not plugging anything here. This is just a concept of time and growth, right? Time and growth. Type it in the comments, time and growth. He now earns $350,000 a year in a job. So that's an income. He takes home 350. Who thinks that's cool? Who would like that?
That's good.
Now he's in sales and stuff, so he's just growth, continually growth, time and money. He still has, like, there's still elements, but it's always growth, right? So you think about it, he's expanded. There's not a one-time, one thing fixes all. It's always growth and expansion. There's still moments where the boss could call him into the office, and he may, in the back of his brain, think he's done something wrong, and his words are, oh no. Like, we've done the writing, right? That writing from like 3 years ago, it's, oh no, I'm in trouble. So when that happens, it goes into a place where it's not so comfortable. Now, let's say, for example, your boss called you in the office, and then he was like, look, Michael, Sue, Leslie, Herman, Anton, you've been doing a great job. We want to show appreciation for you, so we're going to double your income. You don't have to do any extra work. We're just going to double your income. You've gone from 50, 100K a year to 100, 200K a year. How would you feel? How would you feel, Oscar? Josh. How would you feel if that happened? So we've gone from anxious, nervous, not good, to now, like, we're talking just, it's one experience has just popped us up into a feeling of, in the meeting, we're now good. Let me know if this makes sense. This is the cycle of life. Now, let's say this, right? Let's say, for example, we brought in, how many people we got here? 50 people. Let's say we brought in 50 people, and I know some of you have been here, you've heard this before, but check this cycle out, right? Right now we brought in 50 people, and those 50 people, I said, you have to take them into a group, into a room, and you have to do a one-on-one coaching session with them for an hour. So regardless of your skills, of what you've got right now, you have to go do a coaching session with someone for 1 hour. How would you feel? Would you be excited? So would it pop you up into here, or would it pop you down into here? So we got Robert, panic, excited, happy. Nora, Alice is just like, Nora! Happy, nervous. I'd commit, but no, I'd be lacking. So Tani, cool. So we've got it's like, what do I do? So a bit of excitement, but nerve. Which one's firing off more? Excitement, nervous, cool. Now, let's say, for example, you then practice coaching. So you went from learning and you jumped straight into the apply and you practice. Now you've done 20 life coaching sessions. You've done 20 interventions. And then we're in the same spot. We brought 50 people in. And then we said, now go run the intervention after you've done 20 sessions. How do you feel? Think about this. How do you feel? Think of the feeling. How do you feel? You've expanded this comfort zone. Now, it doesn't just go positive. You've expanded the horizon. Does this make sense? More confident, excited, more confident, more prepared, dopamine. So straight away, just from applying and practice, we get to that level. Think of this, right? Let's say we brought another 50 people in. It's like, cool, now it's time to go practice sales. Now we're hitting that earn phase, right? Actually, let me check this just so we make it relevant. How much do you want to earn in your coaching business? How much do you want to earn in your coaching business? In, let's say, per month. Type in per month. How much you want to earn? So if you currently earn this much in life. So your lifestyle, this is actually neuroscience. Your level of living is attached to your income. So your income creates what's comfortable. Some people live in thresholds and some people live in really comfortable. So, the 10K mark, we've got the unlimited, we've got 15K a month, 4K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month. Cool. So all these numbers right now should be at some level outside of the comfort zone. Does that make sense? If it's not outside of the comfort zone, you need to raise it so it's outside of the comfort zone. Simple maths. Now, let's say, for example, we brought 50 people in. You have to go do a sales course. So you've got 2 hours to do a sales call, and you have to sell them for $2,000, whatever the number is that you want to sell your coaching for. So you have to do a full sales course. How do you feel? So think about it. You're in there. You're like, I have to put this person through an hour, 2-hour phone call, a conversation on Zoom, and then at the end of it, ask them for $2,000, $5,000. How would you feel? Got 10K per week. That's a cool number. $1 million per month. Go for that, Anna. It's achievable. How would you feel? Pop it in. How would you feel? Nervous, excited, pressure. Depends on the audience. Yep, cool. Got it. Nervous, unsure, not ready. Cool. So let's say, go back to the process. And we're going to start talking about the brain here, right? Go back to the process. You then practice. So you get a sales script and you practice and you do it 20 times, 30 times. You rehearse it in your brain over and over again. You fire off noradrenaline, you fire off dopamine, you fire off acetylcholine. You then sleep at night. When you sleep at night, you're retaining that learning, that growth, the emotional growth. And then all of a sudden, you've done 30 sales calls. You've now made, let's say, for example, $2,000 sales. Who likes that? That'd be about $30,000. You made $2,000 sales. Pump it. You're now at this point, right, where you've coached 20, 30 people. You've made 20, 30 grand. And then you're ready for this. All of a sudden, so you're now up here. Here's your new level of boundary. You've got 20, 30, 40 grand in the bank, 50 grand in the bank. You ready for this? You're making 300 grand a year, right? Let's 200 grand a year as a coach. Got this? Stay with me. You're making 100, 200 grand a year as a coach. Your boss then calls you into his office, into her office, into their office, whatever it is, right? Straight away, how do you feel? Do you care? You got your 50 grand in the bank. You know that you're making 20, 30 grand a month, 10 grand a month. How do you feel? See this? This is growth. Your boss doubles your income. But the double of your income no longer exceeds what you earn in your coaching business. So you're earning more in your coaching business. How do you feel about doubling the income? Like you're making far more in a coaching business. This is growth. This is how we expand. Most people think I just need to burn the bridges and quit and then just go all in. It's not the case. It's continual growth. This is how we experience life. Learn, apply, start to influence people with what you learn, and then earn. This is the process. All of a sudden, your boss says, I was kidding, we're not doubling your income, we actually have to let you go. Where, man, people have come in, your job's gone. Depending in America, and certain people might have come in and taken the roles, or AI's taken the role in Australia, whatever it is, right? But we have to make you redundant. So we got, 20 grand, 50 grand package for you. Yet you're still making your 20, 10, 30,000 a month. How do you feel? You've just made redundant. You went from anxious, how do I pay the bills? How do I get by? To now, what? Just doesn't care. You mean, now I can go spend more time on helping people, making a difference in the world? This is the power of growth. This is the power of you coaching clients. Our job isn't just the outcome. Our job is to create the resilience so we create new levels of their boundaries. It's the same in a relationship. Let's say, for example, right, the kids come home. When they come home, they're bouncing off the walls. As they're bouncing off the walls, it puts you into an area where you're like, you know what, this is pissing me off. This is outside of the comfort zone. This is pissing me off. Auto quit responses are starting to be hit. All of a sudden, they snap. You want to hear something really messed up? Type messed up. Here's something really messed up that humanity is barely aware of at the moment. This is like proper messed up. If you sleep less than 6 hours a night, this boundary of threshold, it drops 60%. That becomes your boundary. So let's say you're in here is where the kids are bouncing off the walls and it normally wouldn't bother you. All of a sudden, when you're stressed, when you're not sleeping properly, as soon as they do that behavior that wouldn't normally bother you, they do it, it's just a snap response, auto quit. Hence, sleep is the most important part of a coach's and your client's journey. It's where you integrate, we'll talk more about this on the last day, it's where they integrate their growth, and it's where they keep their maximum levels of capacity with dealing with life so they can get more done. Because as soon as you're coaching them, let's say a relationship, partner says a certain thing. One thing I talk about a lot is, and I love one of my favorite videos that I think I've ever done, and I can't wait to do more like it, is how do you handle and what do you do when your partner says you're stupid, you're worthless in front of other people? So you've got that partner who's a bit, maybe not narcissistic, but they're not kind in that sense. Does this make sense? What happens if that takes the person outside of what's normal and what's comfortable? That person could buckle. That could be fear response, cry, it could leave, they could shout at them, right? Past marriage. Now, if that person builds such resilience and empowerment within themselves, male, female, anywhere in between, doesn't matter. If they build that resilience where that's their new boundary of confidence and their partner says that, they'll say something to them like, sweetie, that's not a very kind thing to say. I'm okay with it though. I'm not going to say you're projecting onto me. We know you are, but I'm not going to say it. But I get that you appreciate that. Appreciate your feedback. I just don't care. Remember, it's because the growth has happened to the point where the client just doesn't care. Holler if this makes sense. They are not the problem. Our projection of ourselves is the problem to what we accept in life. And if you didn't care, it just becomes man, you look like an idiot in front of other people when you say that. I don't look like an idiot. If I cried and if I like victimed it, I would be like, okay, I'm playing that part. Does this make sense? But if it just doesn't bother me, and it literally is like water off a duck's back, man, we're playing a different level of a game here. This is our job for coaching. This is our job for ourselves. If somebody jumps on your post and says, yo, you suck, you're full of shit, whatever it is, it's like, you know what, I appreciate you where you're at. Block. I just don't need the energy. It's not that I want to run away from the energy. It's just like, it's cool. There's billions of people on the planet. We don't need to all follow each other. Does this make sense? Makes perfect sense. Our projection is the problem. Our projection is what we need to work with. If we work with our projection, we expand who we are as a human being. And it doesn't mean we change. We just become more evolved. That's it. Oh. So then we look at what stops us now in our coaching business. So what do we need to focus on? Where do we need to spend our time? So we want to, how many people, I just want to check, how many people want to do an online business? How many people want to do an online business? Got it. A lot. Yes, online. Cool. Yes, online. You can see it. Cool. All right. So for an online business, here's a couple things we need to focus on. All right. Write these down. So number one. So this is our key areas of focus. This is now going to tie into that learn, apply, influence, and earn. So number one is you need knowledge. If a person doesn't have knowledge, they will get exposed. Would you agree if you got to this training and I just told you story after story after story for now 2 days straight, you'd be like, this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about. Make sense? It's the same with your clients. If you sit down with your clients and now you can take yesterday's content and articulate to them how they're quitting, if they want to achieve a goal, what would be coming up in order for them to quit. That's knowledge. So we need knowledge. If we don't have knowledge, people get exposed. I know many coaches that absolutely suck at coaching, but they can still make $100,000 a month. $100,000 a month, even though they suck at coaching. Why? Because they're so congruent with what they think they know, they're just out there doing it. Yet I know so many coaches, far more coaches, that have amazing knowledge, amazing coaching skills, yet they're broke. They barely make $500 a month. Why? Because the fear of stepping out of that knowledge phase. So firstly, we need knowledge. Next is a method. This is a coaching method. I'm going to give you a coaching method tomorrow. So tomorrow's coaching method, people ask me, how much can I charge for it? If you're coaching someone, what you do tomorrow, you could charge like $100 an hour. $100 a session. Make sense? Give me some yeses. Make sense? So man, straight away, you can go make $100 a session. I know some people who they have 30 sessions booked in a week at $100, and that's how they make $3,000 a week. That's $12,000 a month, and on average, it's about $100,000 a year, a bit over $100,000 a year. Simple maths. Who would like to work those 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week to earn $3,000 a week? Who would like that? You're working like 60, 70 hours a week. Couple people. A method, a better way to do it, is to have a method that is worth, say, $2,500. If you have a $2,500 program, think about it, 30 sales a month at $100. You know how long a normal sales process takes? About an hour. Whether you charge $100, $200, or you charge $2,000, it still takes an hour. Does that make sense? Just a note here, my background of my past life, I used to be a national sales trainer for Nokia. I've worked for Optus as sales trainer. So my background is sales. Regardless of you're selling something for $100, usually $5,000, it takes a little bit more now. But for $100 to $2,500, it still takes a 1 hour to 2 hour conversation. Holler if that makes sense. So you could either do 30 sales calls a week of an hour, plus then you have to coach them, or you could do what? One sale a week. Does this make sense? You do 1 or 2 sales a week, you make $2,500 to $5,000. You may have to have 5 calls, 6 calls to make those, instead of maybe 40, 50 calls. Do you notice we're doing far less work for a lot more money? Does that make sense? So the method is extremely important. From the method, where we at? We're at method, high ticket method. We now enter that influencer phase of being able to go, I'm going to put times on this. You ready for it? I'm going to put times on this. A normal person goes to a practitioner course. They do, let's say an NLP, they do a life coaching level 1. What usually comes next? Pop it in the comments. So they spend maybe 5 months, 6 months going through the journey. You book in, you wait for it, you attend it, you might go through the online stuff. You then go do a master's. That master's takes another 6 months, a year. Make sense? So the first year, usually a person spends anywhere from 5,000 to 10 plus K for programs. Now what happens is, and this is my biggest feedback as why we now do this for free. You ready? You can big love to us, man. You jump on our social medias and be like, amazing. The reason why we do this for free is we have people who go through and they do master level NLP trainings, coaching trainings, and they still don't know how to run a coaching session. They get given 20, 30, 50 coaching strategies, but they still don't know how to actually run a coaching session. Give me some emojis of like brain blown. You may have been there. If you've been there, let us know if you've been there. The reason why we do tomorrow is we give you word-for-word scripts on what to say when so you can go and coach people. We need it. You go 5 years in the future, we're going to have a big problem of people losing purpose. As we get more abundant in our society, and it's the 80% chance of happening, abundance in society in the next 10, 20, 5, 10 years, maybe even 3 years. As that happens, people are going to need help, whether it's your friends, family, clients, or your kids, on going, how do I find passion, purpose in the world, because what I've always done is no longer there. Please let me know if this makes sense. We have 8 billion people on the planet. There are plenty of people to go around for you to have your 1, 2, 3 clients a week. They're $2.5 grand, right? It makes sense. We got plenty of people to go around. If a person gets stuck in the learning phase, you will be there for the next 5, 10 years. What happens is they usually go here and then they engage a coach or someone to say, hey, can you help me build out a product here? Holler if this makes sense. You might have done it. So that's a method. After the method, somebody's like, cool, now I have a $2,500 program. I got my $100 program. You have that here. $100 program straight away. After that, it's now going, how do now I enter the client attraction? So this is influencer inside client attraction. Just type CA in the comments. Client attraction. Now, client attraction, usually a person starts, now we can start it straight away. We have models where a person can start coaching someone straight away whilst building out their client attraction. Now, here's the shitty thing about client attraction. We can't just change our banner or our title, get a business card, and clients will start paying. Client attraction is a process. It's a process that takes around 90 days. How many people, I know we've just got CA here. How many people, type a me, how many people want to dig deeper into client attraction? So you really nail client attraction. Type me. So it's into the point where, like, within a week, you can pick up 100, 200 people that you can take on that 90-day cycle of nurturing them, getting them to a point where you're omnipresent. You're just with them. They see you all the time to then go, oh, I would love to work with this person. Where they actually start writing you messages. They start commenting on your posts. So you're no longer out there going, hey, man, come and join my group. Come in here. Do you want to get coached? Do you want a free session? They're now, there's a lot. How many are there? Shit, I just saw all those memes pop through. That came through late. So client attraction. Usually a person gets here, and they get here on level year 3, 4, and they spend another $5 grand. How many people have already paid people to learn how to attract clients? Another 5K. Now after here, we have a following. Ready? So you focus. Knowledge, build that into a method. From the method, start attracting clients. This is your process. Once they get client attraction, they pick up 5, 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, and then they're like, why aren't people paying me? Like, I'm booking calls, people want to talk to me, I'm giving away free sessions, but why aren't people paying me? This is because they haven't nailed yet the sales process. This is where a person says, now I need to learn sales. Check this out, right? I know someone who charges $36,000 a year to teach people how to do this. $36,000 a year. Who would like to pay someone $36,000 a year to be able to just learn how to do Sue's head? I see them. $36,000 a year. I remember I saw that dude and I was like, man, are you kidding? Like $36,000 a year. I was like, who's your target market? Like, they must be earning, man, at least minimum, like already 100, 200 grand a year, 250 grand a year. He's like, no, I'm getting starting out coaches. So someone in a freaking job, I'm charging them, 30 grand a year to teach them how to build out just the client attraction. And then they get to the point where they've got all these following, but guess what? No one's paying them money. Why? Because they don't know how to ask for money. This is where a person gets to like their 5th year inside a coaching journey going, cool, I've got my method, I'm confident in my coaching, I've got a following, but why aren't people paying me? Like, I'm okay charging $100, but why aren't people paying me $2.5 grand? That's because this process here. I think I got another buddy who charges 36 grand a year, 35 grand a year, just to learn sales. 35 grand a year. So who wants to like go teach people how to sell and attract clients? Man, it's lucrative, right? Man, so easy minimum, like another 5K. This is a coach's journey. Now, my goal, and the reason why we give this away for free, my goal is you can start making money straight away so you can reinvest that back into your business. Simple maths, right? Start making money. You start charging $100 a session, and then you can start paying someone $100, $200 a week for the services. Got it? Simple. This is just growth. The growth is start growing. Like, a person doesn't just go. They don't just go as in overnight from here to I've nailed sales. So here's my method. I've nailed now client attraction. I've nailed now sales.
Just wanted the order number.
This is the process.
So
It's not overnight. We have to step through it. Does that make sense? Please holler if that makes sense. Your job, if you go learn more programs, like more coaching courses, I can promise you, like this course you're learning tomorrow is worth easy $3 grand. You don't need more. If you don't align with it, that's totally cool. You go learn something else to align with. I'm totally cool with that. But if you're out there going to learn more, we have clients just come to this training here alone. They start charging like $1,000 a month for their coaching just from here. It can be done. Cool? Does this make sense? It can be done. I would not sit there and go and learn more, like spend another year, 2 years learning more methods. It will not serve you. Unless you're turning that into a bigger product, you're adding, like, think about it, guys, we're going to have AI soon. And I don't care what anyone thinks about it. Who's into AI? Just type AI. Just say no if you're not. Man, AI is coming. People are already using AI to coach themselves. And for the first time, or when was it? A couple months ago? About 5 months ago. 5 months ago, someone was in this training. Same deal, we had about 50 people here. And one of them, just chatting with one of them, I had a call with him. And he was saying that I actually had depression and I used AI to coach myself through it. It's coming. Now, the cool thing is there's going to be, most people will still want to deal with a human when it comes down to their mind. Does that make sense? Hence, coaches are going to be sought after. Very powerful industry. Now, what stops a person? So, 1, get that sorted. Well, that's a 1. 2, get that sorted. 3, get that sorted. 4, get that sorted. Now, the 5th one is the most important part. The fifth one is your mindset. Remember, it takes 254 days to change a behavior. So, if you want to learn a sales process and you just go out there willy-nilly throwing sales process out, 254 days. If you learn the mindset and you train the brain, we're going to talk about this on the last day. How do you rewire your own brain, let alone your clients? I'll give you meditations and stuff so you can go away and you can start doing the work on your own brain. But here, mindset, if we don't embody the 67-day cycles, on getting the brain ready to do the behavior, we're always going to have that underlying niggling bit behind that. As in, am I really worth it? You are worth it. Man, this model I give you tomorrow is going to be better than far more coaches than I know. Just tomorrow's method. Like, we have a diploma in a diploma. We give you a full 90-day method, like word for word, processes, what to do every week. So you have a $2,500 program. Here, you have a $100 session you just go run with straight away. Whichever one, it works, right? Just apply it, practice it, and start charging. Well, Phil ripped off, did a school years ago. Yeah, man, so many, like, I kid you not, it's so common. It's so common. And this is like, man, basic human behavior. Like, these are the things that we should be taught. Like, I'm preaching here, right? But this should be taught. Mindset will underpin every piece of growth that we have there. Let me know if that makes sense. What do we got? A couple minutes. I want to do a couple more things before we finish up. What do we got here? Perfect sense. Perfect. Does. Okay. So, all I'm going to do, one quick pitch, right? We do have a diploma. And what I'll say in our diploma, we have stacked it over the last couple of years. If anybody does want to have a chat with the team, either myself or the team, about the diploma, in the diploma, we spend 12 months and we literally rip through all your core learnings, what you need in 12 months. I run events every month or two, and those events are on your mindset. So we'll rip through. Usually every 3 months, we run one of these 5-day events, and that 5-day event is solely on setting your brain up for your next step, setting your brain up for your next cycle. Do you need sales? Do you need client attraction? Do you need more coaching methods? Whatever it is, do you need more confidence as a coach to step into your method? We're always 3 months in advance. Got it? I'll run a 3-day training on how to literally nail client attraction, how to attract clients straight away, hundreds of clients straight away. We run another 3-day training. Who wants that? Let me check this. I did see that question of how much. If you do want to have a chat, I'm not going to spend an hour talking about it. So if you want to have a chat about pricing and stuff, please we have scholarships where you can get over 50% off the program. The team will have a chat with you. So depending on where you're at is depending on what we can do. Just type diploma in the comments if you do want to have a chat with the team. What I will say is, how many people, ready for this? How many people, I know I'm going to load up these comments here. How many people wanted to learn, you ready for this? How many people want to learn how to speak in front of groups? So you want to scale this straight away to $2,500 a product, but work with 10 people at a time. So every month you could literally sell 10 people and just do one session a month. So I got a buddy, right? I got a buddy who lives in Bali. He was a client 10 years ago. And what he does is he helps women fall pregnant. So, you know what I mean? He's got a program for women to fight. That came out a bit wrong. He's got a program for women to help with their hormones to fall pregnant. He runs a group training once every 3 months. He builds it up, and then once he runs the group training, he has 20 women, pay him $2,500 to $5,000, and he runs that every 3 months. Every 6 weeks to 3 months. He lives in Bali. He works 1 day a week with his clients where he does sessions with them 1 day a week as a group for 3-month cycles. So he has 4 days off a week, 5 days off a week, lives in Bali. He's just had a child. He goes to spas all day, works out. He used to own a fitness gym. That's his lifestyle. It can be done. What makes it is you need a sales process. You need people there. You need to have a method that you can sell. If somebody just goes out and says, you know what, I can coach people, I'm now a life coach, and they expect that to turn into $100,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $200,000, it doesn't happen. This is a must. Do you want to hear the percentage of time to spend where? The percentage of time. Knowledge at the start. So in the first year, knowledge, we need to spend about 70% of our time learning and putting into methods. 70% of our time. So if you only have 2 hours a day, 2 hours a day to work on your coaching business, at least an hour and a half of that is on knowledge and method. Now, once you have a learning, once you have a structure, you have a method there, you need to flip that, where 70% of your time is now on client attraction and sales. Tomorrow, I'm going to teach you how you can coach someone in a sales call for free. So you could coach them for free to give them a taste of what you have. Man, for the guys in the diploma, you could take tomorrow's session and give it away for free. Think about it. You give away a full intervention for free, and at the end of it, they pay you $2.5 grand. But then a 90-day process. Does that make sense? For those who want to go group work, we run another 3-day training just on how to speak on camera and on stage. I used to run a 5-day event, right? And we're talking like 8-10 years ago. I run a 5-day event, and in the 5-day event, on the first day, you'd sit there and start learning how to present. People would be buckling and crying and leaving, and it's like, not leaving, but it's just like going through their motions. By the 5th day, they're strutting the stage. They're like, man, they're boss, like they got their heels on, and they're just like, it's just dominating the stage. That's the idea of growth. Remember, learn something, sleep, integrate it, practice it, get better. This process is what you need across all levels. So just think of this. Once you get to the point where you have knowledge, you have a structure, you should do that within weeks, if not months. Having a structure, you then spend 70% of your time on the client attraction and sales and helping people. And then 30% of your time, you're actually coaching people. Does this make sense? Most coaches think that they'll be coaching 90% of their life. It's not the case. If you were, you would not have clients. That was a mouthful. So, I'll just say one more time, diploma, if you want to have a chat about the diploma, over the year, we'll run you through about 5 different events. The one coming up in a couple of weeks, we're doing an influencer training. So we're solely focusing on influencer. So how do you start posting? How do you go viral? How do you start attracting people? Like, how do you get the influencer part down? Because without the influencer, man, there's no one to sell. Think of this. You could have crazy sales skills, but if you don't have people to sell, no money. You could have the biggest audience. I know people with millions of followers, yet their sales process sucks. They have no money. Does this make sense? So every kind of 3 months, work on the brain, then we work on your influencer. I give you full sales scripts. So I give you our team's sales scripts, word for word. You could dump them into AI, and they will rebuild your word for word sales script. And I'll talk about this on the 4th day. But the idea of when you're sitting there, just visualizing, learning that sales script, and firing off the chemicals, so you can start to train the brain to do the behavior naturally. This is the process. All right. Anyways. Last time, if you want to have a chat with myself or one of the team today, just type diploma. Jess, I see it come through. I did see a lot more come through before, but if you want to have a chat, just type diploma, and what I will do is, what the team will do is, we'll look at where you're at. So even if you can't jump on board, it's totally cool. But I'll look at where you're at and go, cool, what kind of phase you in? What do you need next? So you can start moving forward. So whether you jump in or you don't, you can just keep pushing forward and look, fire out. You get this, right? My goal. You start earning money here. Take this for free. Start earning money. If you need money, if you already have money, we could just advance it and fast track the process. But if you need money, take this, start working, start doing the process. And then learn, whether it's with us or someone else. I will say, if you do work with anyone, don't get stuck in the trap. Like, how many messages, like, we have put thousands of people through this program. How many messages I've got from people saying, I went back into the learn phase. I paid someone $5,000 just to learn the same process you learn tomorrow. It's not worth it. All right, anyways, how are we going? We're nearly done for today. So, what are we doing tomorrow? So tomorrow I'm going to teach you a process, right? I did see the deployment. Anna, Casey, cool. I look forward. The team will message. What will happen is the team will message you, and when they message you, they'll book in a time over the next day or two, and we'll jump on Zoom. We'll have a chat. We'll see where you're at. We'll look forward to meeting you as well in person, like face to face. We'll have a chat, and then that's it. So just reply to the message. Either be a text message, or they'll message you here on Zoom. What's that? Got it covered? Text message. It'll be a text message. So they're texting today. Alrighty, so what happens, right? This is where we're going now with the intervention. So, intervention goes like this. We all have a past. Now, you ready for this? We're going to do this. I'm going to try and do this in about 3-4 minutes. So stay with me. Don't leave. We have a past. How many people believe in past lives? So type PL in the comments. PL in the comments. How many people believe in past lives? Past lives. A lot. So So past lives means that we've had lifetimes and our soul's been on a journey, and then we're carrying information upon each journey, and then each lifetime we go through certain lessons, and through those lessons we have growth. So there's past lives. Another past could be passed down genealogically. So that's through our DNA. So type DNA. How many people believe in information being passed down from our parents, from their parents, and so forth, and we can carry then the DNA of all who have been before us at some level in our DNA and then in our neurology. So DNA. So past life, it could be passed down genealogically. Now, another could be in the womb. A past could be in the womb. How many people believe that when you're in the womb, you can pick up the energy and the patterns of the parents around you, or the information around you? It's pretty fucking stock standard, right? If you have a mother who goes through a lot of abuse and emotional abuse, while a baby's in the womb, they can carry that fear into the start of their life. Just like if you go have a mother who goes through, like, man, it's something cool, right? When my partner was when we had our first baby, it's like 5 years ago, we're in Bali doing a retreat. So this is like 5-6 years ago. In Bali, it's more 6 years now. We're in Bali doing a retreat, and in Bali we go to sound healings inside pyramids. And she was in the pyramids doing sound healings, cleansing the body. Who thinks that's pretty cool, right? Pop it in if you think that's cool. So in the womb. So you can pick up and you can clear energy while in the womb. Another past could be just from now until birth. So from birth up until now could be a past. So you got past lives genealogically in the womb and up until now from birth. That looks like this. And then everybody, to some degree, has a future. Simple, right? So that could be just one lifetime here when you're birthed, if that's what you believe in, or it could go all the way through to whatever you think thousands of lifetimes ago. Now, everybody at some level lives in this moment now. So this is the now. Cool? So we've got past, now, future. Simple. What happens is, as we go through life, we go through events. Let's do a different color. We go through events. Now, we talk about thoughts. Thoughts create choices, create behaviors, experiences, emotions. Thoughts, emotions, firing off day in and day. Automatic thoughts, emotions, firing off. When they fire off in the events, these things become gestalts. Gestalts. Gestalts are moments in time where we create neurological memory to past experience that we can actualize in this moment now. Holler if that makes sense. Gestalts are past events where when they happen, we make neurological memories. So we can become reflexive in this moment now. Our body wants the easiest, most happiest life we can live. If we could just, our body, if we could wake up, its only main concern is survival. That's it. And then we fire off chemicals, and as we fire off chemicals, we become alert, we become relaxed, everything happens. So these gestalts, every now and then, somebody then goes through a significant emotional event. Type SEE in the comments. This could be, you ready for this? It could be trauma. Somebody could go through emotional trauma or physical trauma. Are you ready for this? Someone might have their significant emotional event as just being called a certain name when they were a child. I know people that when they were brought up, their father used to call them certain names, and it was just like banter. Every type B, we understand banter, right? I think for the Australians, for the Kiwis, we know locker room banter. It's like people just joke around. So you can have a parent who just has a bit of banter with a child, but that child takes that information on as a significant emotional event. Negative significant emotional event. Meaningless abuse. So someone could take it as meaningless abuse. Yes. Now, those significant emotional events, they are not what we're dealing with in this moment. So let's just go, it could be another one here. I'll tell you one of mine, like when I was playing football, we went over to New Zealand. So I was playing professionally at 17, right? And I went over to New Zealand to play the junior Kiwis, and we were playing for the West Tigers at the time. When I was there, I got tied to a pole. My team tied me to a pole, and they stripped me naked, and they were laughing, taking pictures. At the time, I remember going to my room and calling my mum. I just threw that out there. Everyone's like, oh, shit, that was intense. Or other people were like, that's nothing. I remember calling my mum crying, saying, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home. Does this make sense? I went and became a brown belt in Japanese jiu-jitsu just so if anyone ever did that, I would mess them up. Make sense? And we're talking about, I was playing professional football, so I was a tough dude. But but it still had emotional baggage there. You know, you go on your journey, you get your brown belt, you start to realize over time that, man, that's not it. That's, for me, now I look at the growth I've had. If somebody did it, I'd probably become a pole dancer and start dancing on the pole. Because remember, that emotional flexibility has risen so much. Does this make sense? This is the power of growth. The power of growth is reassociating meanings. Because what happens is, as we go through life, and this is what we go through tomorrow. Let's just put this one here, a couple more. As we go through life, these experiences create automatic patterns that cause us to live a consistent, same life day in and day out. Remember, the 5-lane highway of information. All this information, 90% based on scarcity, creates a life we live day in and day out doing the same things over and over again. We can literally predict how a person can behave and act based on who they've always been. Let me know if that makes sense. So, if we don't clear the energy of these gestalts, it's not about the significant emotional events, it's about the gestalts. It's about working with anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. It's about working with the automatic thoughts that are firing off automatically day in and day out. That if we don't work with the emotions and the thoughts, this keeps running a person's life, hence they keep living the same life they've always lived. So what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to learn to take somebody on a journey, not to deal with this. That's a no. Not to deal with this. That's a no. We're not dealing with significant emotional events, and I will say it over and over again. Take them on a journey where they can go out and they can start to become aware of these first events, unconsciously aware of these events, and they can start to release the ants, automatic negative thoughts, and the emotions that are associated to these events. Now, when we release those emotions like a string of pearls, this just falls away. You can even find a lot of people can clear a lot of their trauma just by dealing. Remember how I said this? You don't need to deal with trauma to help a person move forward. Does that make sense? That is the power of this. So tomorrow I will take you with scripts, word for word scripts. So tomorrow is going to be rapid fire. Tomorrow, man, we are just going to jump into it and we are going to go through what would take me usually 2 days, a day. I'm going to do it in an hour. We got it? After tomorrow, I'll send you some videos and you can watch them again because you're going to be like, holy shit, pause. And I'll be like, I'm not pausing. You know, a couple of events ago, this is how rapid fire it is. Someone's like, wait, I don't have the manual. Wait, I don't have, and they're trying to unmute themselves and it's like, yeah, block, get that. We're on fire. It is like, we will go through it. You have a Facebook group where you can ask questions. Tomorrow is rapid fire. Cool, we got it? And the team are going to grab a link now in a sec. You cool? The team will grab a link. They're going to pop a link in the comments here. And that link is where you can download the manual. So get the manual tonight. Tomorrow we'll do it again. We got your back. We're here for you, bro. We got your back. Tomorrow we'll go through word-for-word scripts on how to do this. Who's excited? Just give me some. Oh, there's a link quickly before everybody writes excited. Yeah, blow the hands up. Blow the hands up. Who's excited? Bop, 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 bop. Nice. This is going to be your first product. This is going to be your first product. So rapid fire. So tomorrow and the next day, it's going to be rapid fire. I'll be sitting down for it. I'll be chilling out more. This is just more. I'll probably have my iPad in my hands, and we'll go through the scripts. We'll go through the processes. Just, ask questions in the chat, and we will handle it tomorrow. We'll get business done tomorrow. Feeling dope. Yeah, feeling dope. Yeah, dope. Yeah, don't unmute yourself. What else we got? Yeah. So, what happens, right, just to tie this off, what happens is if we can start to install new information. So think of this. If that's like a 5-lane highway of Mack trucks, we take 15, 20 Mack trucks of information and we bombard the brain. In our diploma, we actually give you a neuroscience process. This is cool. I don't really talk about this much. We'll talk about it on the phone. We'll give you a neuroscience process on how to bombard this nervous system 8 times a day in as little amount of time as possible, so you can literally just take information and jam it into the back of the brain. So this starts to just fire off instead. And then all of a sudden what happens is people start to naturally make different choices in life. Pretty cool, right? And on the last day, so again, if you do want to have a chat about the diploma, do type diploma in the comments. I am more than happy to run you through how the 90 days looks like. Look, we go, my goal, right? And give this away for free, right? Is my goal is that you need knowledge. Knowledge is a must. Simple. But if you spend the next 2 years paying, like, do you know how many people come through our programs? And I kid you not, you will pay nowhere near this, where they pay like 5, 10, 20 grand just to learn knowledge, to then sit there and say, wait, I am still not worth money. I still have no idea how to attract clients. Like, I can show you, man, I can even, when we're on Zoom, the team on Zoom, we will show you how you can get millions of views on posts without even putting your face on it. Like, I could take a blank page and one page pop millions of views. We had one client once. You ready for this? This is a really cool story. We had a client once. He was in the client attraction phase. He turns his TikTok on. You ready for this? I, at the time, was playing around with TikTok, and I put out 4 posts per day for 30 days, for 90 days straight. 4 posts. I had hundreds of posts. Got it? Reels. He's like, I want to set mine up. He puts out his 6th post. I had none of them go viral. So we're talking consistent here, right? This is dopamine, the power of consistency. None of them go viral. His 6th post pops 2 million views. 20,000 likes, 1,000 comments. And you know what his thing was? He's like, what do I do now? How's this work? It's like, dude, keep posting. Keep building it. Because by the time you then run a challenge, by the time you run something for them, you've now got a big following already. Does this make sense? Give me some yeses if that makes sense. Our job, we have a window of time as an influencer to pick up an amass of followings on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. It's getting harder on Instagram and TikTok. YouTube is awesome. Just type one more time. How many people want to learn about influencing? I'll send you an email. Send you a cool email. How many people want to nail influencer? Becoming that influencer. Cool. Quite a few. All right, sweet. We'll send an email out in a couple of days. In our program, we take. This one last time, right? The program you have here is worth minimum 6K. Just one part of our diploma. Half of our diploma is life coaching and coaching people with neuroscience processes. The other half, so by the time you finish it, you would have done at least probably, I think it's about 80 hours worth of actual coaching. A lot of our coaches start making money before they're certified because they've already done so much coaching. I work more on practice opposed to bogging you down with hours and hours of content. It's let's start practicing. Put people through the 90-day process straight away. Once you put 2 people through that 90-day process and you see their transformation, you're like, Aaron, like, man, I'm already charging $100, $200 for the session because you've learned this. How do I now charge $2,500? And this is where we go perfect. Boom, enter this sales phase. Does this make sense? Man, we have some clients where they just put out, hey, I'm looking for someone to practice on, and they're like, cool, I'll pay you $1,500. But how would you like to pay? Like, man, 2-3 grand straight away. It can happen. What the difference is, the mindset. Are you confident to do it? Hence, we want to get you practicing. Just practice, practice, practice. But yeah, anyways, just our client attraction process, man. I saw someone's program recently, and they charge just for this $6,000 a year, just for this. And man, you get that as a bonus part of ours. So anyways, if you do want to have a chat with I've seen so many diplomas come through. I don't know if the team are going to have time to get to you all today. We'll chat over the next day or two. But if you do want to have a chat about the diploma, just type diploma. This, I will say, a lot of people ask, like, well, I'll give you a hit here of what you're learning now, how it works. In our diploma, we could still use this. I prefer to give it away for free. So, I'll give you an example. Far out. 8 years ago, we ran like a 20-day challenge, right? I'll teach you how to run challenges. I'll teach you how to set up the challenges. I'll see like your Facebook group, all of it, ebooks, man, AI. We did a training recently where you could set up a whole funnel in about an hour now. It used to take 3 months just to get target market right. Do target market in 5 minutes, and then boom. You're straight into, I've got a product, I've got everything ready to go within a couple of hours. It's insane what you can do with AI. But let's go back. 8 years ago, we ran a challenge. And in that challenge, I tested giving away this for free, right? So each person, we had about 190 people in the challenge at the time. And in there, I ran this whole process for free on each person. By the end of it, we had closed about $400,000 worth of income in a month. Who thinks that's freaking cool? And I gave away the whole process. It meant, like I talk here, I'm giving away. Like you look at our diploma, this process here, I would say is about maybe 20, 30% of what this method is. So hence the $100. You then stack more into it, you now have a $2,500 program. Simple. So we're giving away a huge amount of what the coaching model is. You could give away a huge amount of your coaching, and like you see here, can I just check, like, well, we've had about 10, 15 people already, more, say, I would like to do more. You don't have to pitch people. You don't have to be sleazy and pitchy. I don't have to tell you that you will fail if you don't learn this. What I will tell you is if you work with, let's say, another coaching company, most likely you'll spend the next couple of years here. You're not going to fail. It's just going to take a bit more time. That's it. It doesn't have to be grim. Like, it doesn't have to be. You get my gist? You don't have to jump on social media and say you're going to kill your children if you don't fix your mindset. You don't have to go down that path. That you're destroying your kids' lives. You're destroying your relationship. You can go down the path of here's how to have a great relationship. Here's how to be. You could give. I see people on TikTok now giving away all their parenting advice. They still have clients. Does this make sense? I said this to you yesterday. I will show you how you can give and still make money. The law of numbers are you always have 20, 30% of people wanting more. That's it. Law of numbers, upwards of 50%. It's always. The question is, and this is why this process here is so important. You ready for this? Your job as a salesperson isn't to take money. We turn away more people than we take on. Does that make sense? So we'll probably have 15 calls, 20 calls in the next few days. More people we will say, look, it's not the right time. Because it's your job to be able to go, is that person right and in the right space and time for what you have? And then you want to be really good at this part. So if they are in the right place and time, you can then serve them. Please let me know if that makes sense. Cheers, Anton. Appreciate that. I saw you lean back and then lean forward to pop that in. Your job is to be able to understand and have the skills, the language skills, so you can connect with someone. So the ones you can help, the ones you want to help. A cool little thing. I'll give you a quick tip here, right? When it comes down to you eventually, how many people would love to run retreats one day? Just type retreats. If you'd love to run retreats. So we're talking about retreats. Let's say, mind you, we run a $10,000 retreat in Bali. Like we have people pay $10,000 to learn like that. Now, once we're making money, now we go, let's start stacking master level language patterns. Let's now start stacking more and more. Make sense? We don't do that at the start anymore. Simple. Help you make money. Then those who are making money, we can now progress. So retreat. Imagine taking people to Bali for 10 days, 5 days. Man, they pay you $2,000, $5,000. Think of this. This is the best thing you could ever do. Think about if you ran that retreat, who would you want to spend your time with? What would you want to be doing when you spend your time with them? And you start to create that vision. That is the person you want to start attracting straight away. So as you enter that influencer phase, you're attracting the people that by the time they enter a challenge of yours, by the time they enter your first level of programs at $2,500, and then you're now going, cool, now I want to run that 5. So I got a buddy who runs a Vedic meditator. So he teaches people Vedic meditation. His back-end product, so it's like $1,000 to learn how to meditate. The back-end product is a $10,000, $15,000 retreat in India where they get to spend like 20 days going through that journey. Pretty cool, right? His biggest lesson was, who do you want to spend your time with when you're in that retreat? When you're eating breakfast and dinner with these people, who do you want to spend your time with? That's the person you start to attract here in this client attraction from day one. I have ran retreats with people that I'd be like, man, that was such a bad decision. Like having that person, even though they paid the $10,000, like the energetic balance of that room with 10, 20, 50 people, it didn't mesh. Holler, if that makes sense. Like-minded people. And you want to enjoy your time. Otherwise, you'll hate your job. You'll hate what you do. All right. So, we got it. Anyways, diploma. Anybody wants to have a chat, we'll run through that, how it works. My job, is to run events consistently. There's recordings. You know, you have online courses. Like we have the online thing. The whole thing's online as well. We'll run events every month or two, putting you through all the processes so you really understand client attraction, sales. You really get your method right. You got your knowledge sorted. You'll be here. Check this out. Here's my last slide for you. Here's the normal journey of a life coach. This will make you laugh. So you got 4 main levels of a life coach, right? You got, firstly, you probably know people like this, the fake it till you make it. These are the people who are online telling everyone how they should live their life, but behind closed doors, they're full of shit. How many people you know like that? Yeah, I get it. We know people like that. It's like, hey, you need to be an empowered person, and if you don't do all this stuff, you're gonna, like, your life sucks. And then behind closed doors, their relationships falling apart. I know an influencer who has thousands and thousands of followers. Behind closed doors, they're full of shit. Man, their relationships falling apart. They're a healthy house, but they feed their kids nuggets every night out of a packet. Like, I get it, man. Some people do it, but you're preaching a lifestyle. That's the fake it till you make it, right? Usually people start here, and it's okay to start there, even though I just made fun of it. After that, they then become the influencer. So this is where they now have a following. People are there, but yet, think of this, right? How many people know an influencer where they go stay in a hotel, and when they're in the hotel, they're like, they could never afford it. But yet the hotel, because they got a bit of a following, they gave them a night's accommodation. So they're in there, and they got their robe on, and they're in the bath, and their legs up, and they're like taking photos. This is like that influencer level. You know what I mean, right? They can't afford it, but they still kind of get the taste of that lifestyle, influencer. Now, what happens is that person then steps into, and this is why business, I didn't say this today, but a life coach is more of an entrepreneur than a life coach. They're an entrepreneur with the product and skill set of a life coach. Does that make sense? Give me some yeses. If a life coach, the entrepreneur's job is to say there is people out there is a market out there that we can help, that I can help. Your job is to go into that market and then build a sales process, a client attraction process, so you can then bring your life coaching, which is your product, to that place. The most life coaches that are broke, they don't have that entrepreneur's mindset. My job is to help you build an entrepreneur's mindset over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. Like, even if it took you 5 years to get to 100, 200K a year inside your life coaching business, would you care? Like, we're about to live an extra 20, 30 years, 50, 60 years. Stem cells are coming. Like, we're about to live a lot longer. So even if it took you that long, man, you are going to create abundance for the next 20, 30, 50 years of your life. It's worth it. So, influencer there. What happens is they start to go, cool, the influencer is not the level. I need to step into that leadership level.